Greetings, fellow Grimdark enjoyers, and welcome to a hobby vlog of a kind. As channel fans may be aware, I've been building up an Eldar Phoenix Force collection, which is my cute nickname for an army of Phoenix Lords and Aspect Warriors, which is obviously very cool. However, back in 9th edition, I would look at these weird little shrine totems, which would come with GW's newer Aspect units, and ask the universe, what are these even for? As they had no functional purpose at the time. And when 10th edition debuted, I asked that same question because of that same lack. But I figured an Eldar Aspect Warrior detachment would most probably make use of such totems. And to GW's credit, they have finally acknowledged these totems in the new 10th edition Eldar Codex, as the Aspect Host detachment does offer two stratagems which interact with them. In fact, I was surprised to see these new shrine tokens, as they term them, also have use in the datasheets themselves, which ensures they can function more broadly. I think it's a step in the right direction, as it's a pretty clear game mechanics / rules design win as it relates to the new codex. It's a design opportunity no longer being wasted, it offers a further layer of tactical nuance, and perhaps most importantly, from a game mechanics point of view, it's unique relative to the typical Imperial standard, thus making them, the Aspect Warriors, feel different, which is obviously what you want for your Xenos factions. Go figure, the Xenos factions should feel alien. This is something I wish we would see more of, to be quite honest, as there's one faction in particular which is desperate for this. That being said, this presents a particular issue for myself, and I would imagine others as well. You see, quite a few of my Aspect units are third-party, in my case, from Artel W. And you might be asking, why? Well, Artel W makes some good-looking miniatures, and in many cases I prefer their aesthetic. I mean, look at these two and ask yourself, who wore it better? Artel's models just happen to have particular assets I think are superior. But beyond using third-party models, I also have a gaggle of the classic older sculpts, which I am sure many longtime Eldar fans have as well. And while GW has released some nice and shiny new Aspect Warrior refreshes, does that mean you must go out and replace your old work? I would say no, not at all, as I am a big proponent of a rules paradigm and player culture that rewards the hobby efforts of us players. So deploy your labors of love and live the dream. That all laid out, between third-party and classic sculpts, there appears to be a need for custom shrine tokens, thus bringing us to the focus of this video. There was a point in time I was considering designing something fairly robust to serve as shrine markers for the necessary units in my Phoenix Force collection. A custom sculpture comparable to what GW offers in their shrine tokens. But ultimately, I decided to just keep it simple. These are just tokens in the end. Well, that's not entirely true. We can consider a basic token is, in a sense, immersion breaking. It's like comparing a token mine to the actual model, which is demonstrably less out of place on the tabletop. These shrine markers, as GW has stylized them, are similar in that they are not immersion breaking. Though I'll admit it is a bit weird that Aspect Warriors have these statues that follow them around. But in spite of that, they remain thematically fitting as a model in the unit, and are preferable to a cardboard token. With all of that laid out, I wanted to preserve that quality in my custom markers, to have it still function as a shrine or totem, rather than using a less immersion-friendly option. And so I modeled up some simple shapes to serve as totems and some plinths for them to be placed upon. These are exported as STLs, and they print on FDM printers fairly quickly due to their size. As far as assembly goes, they simply slot into the plinths. Then you add a bit of super glue, slap it on a 25mm base, and from there it's ready for paint and the basing scheme of your army. So after doing this for myself, I figured I'd give patrons and channel members access to download these markers as a sort of bonus gift or perk. And you know, thinking about it, these sorts of odds and ends may be preferable as a bonus perk for channel members and patrons. so I figured I'd toss up this custom widget I made for myself as well. Links to this Firekeeper's widget and custom shrine markers can be found in the description of this video. Anyways, just a quick one this time, but all things considered, whether you went third party, want to use your classic GW sculpts, or just lost or broke your original shrine tokens, I think these lend themselves as adequate markers, which evoke the Eldar shrine token aesthetic. Well, that's a wrap on this quick, custom aspect shrine markers video. If you enjoyed this one, there are buttons for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And special thanks to Julius Maximus, as well as my other generous patrons and channel members. Channel members and patrons get early access to videos, as well as free access to these shrine markers, and other doodads. Just a little something for those who help keep the dream alive. Anyways, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next one.